this was from God, because it came to me in a dream. And the dream function could have been nothing. All the dream function was me sitting there reading Genesis 1 and John 1 together, trying to figure out what time was like without the sun and all the galaxy put into it. And there's a problem with Christians I'm finding, that many of you read the Bible and you read the story of Genesis and you see days 1 through 3, evening and morning was one day, and you assume that that meant it was the same 24-hour period as it is today. And I'm asking you why. If nobody told you anything about the Bible, if nobody told you anything about whatever, and you were to read that, why would you assume that days 1 through 3 were 24-hour periods and not just a block of time, right? And now somebody comes along and tells you, oh, well, the earth is actually young, and atheists are wrong. Atheists say the world is billions of years old, and the Bible says the earth was created in 6 days. That means atheists are just wrong. And any science that could possibly come up trying to remedy the difference is wrong, because science is man and God says it was 6 days. That's the response I'm getting kind of from Christians. And honestly, I don't understand why. Do you not believe that it was Christianity that ultimately raised science up from nothing? Was Newton not a believer in God, as I've been led to believe? Did Galileo not say that math was the language of God? Is that a lie? Was Tesla respected when he came up with all his theories? What about Einstein? Where does Einstein's theory of relativity even come from? Do you know? Because I know. It came to him by revelation, similar to how this came to me by revelation. It was a scientist in a dream showing me a massive board with a massive equation that I had no idea what it did. I had no idea how to use it. I had no idea what it was for, other than what was told to me. I do know a basic, like a little bit about physics just from trying to read and understand. Can you guys not read? Are you unable to watch a 5-minute video on what time dilation is and how it affects gravity and how gravity has an effect on light? And can you not read a 5-minute science video, or can you not listen to or watch or learn anything about how energy is light in a form? None of this is hard. None of this is complicated. Anybody can do it. And the fact that anybody can do it and nobody is even trying to see if what I'm saying is true, and they're just outright dismissing me, saying Isaiah 52 and Isaiah 53 dismiss that the Shroud of Turin is real because you shouldn't be able to see Jesus' face. Come on. At some point, are you just trying to say that Jesus is not, like, do you not believe Jesus is real? Do you not believe God is real? And you're just pretending you're a cultural Christian? Is that what all that is? Why do you think the Shroud of Turin is not real? Well, it was carbon dated wrong. Well, yeah, it was carbon dated wrong. They took a corner off a known repair, and they didn't even carbon date anything close to where the image was. And then even despite that, after further analysis, they found pollen structures inside the shroud that could only come from around the time Jesus was buried and from around the region Jesus was buried in. So already we have the shroud of possibility, and you have Christians that are dismissing it because faith is by what? Belief is by faith, not by sight. Yes, that's true. But you know what? Things work in patterns. People have been telling you for a long time that we've been in an age of grace and it would not last forever. During the tribulation, you cannot get the mark of the beast and be a Christian. There is no confusion. You either belong to God or you belong to the Antichrist. There is no in-between. There is none. Stop trying to find an in-between. There's not an in-between. You belong to God or you belong to the Antichrist. This dream is that revelation. You belong to God or you belong to the Antichrist. And all these Christians right now that are outright dismissing me, you are putting yourself in line with Satan. And I'm not afraid to say it because you're not even hearing me out. I've had an atheist that I've been talking with who's an honest an honest seeker. He is honestly trying to find the truth about God. And my short conversations and interactions with him over this stream have been more productive than any conversation I've had with a Christian since. Even the pastors that I watch the most, and I've tried to reach out just for spiritual guidance and help before I even knew what this was. I was having a crisis, a full-on crisis, and I was praying and asking for help from those that I trusted, and they have rejected me. So you know what? Maybe this is from God, because what do we see in the Bible? Every time somebody gets a message from God, every time somebody gets sent from God, every time John the Baptist, what happens? They're even rejected by their own people. And who ends up believing them? The people who didn't even believe in God to begin with are the ones who end up believing first. And then after the end of it all, finally the ones who had some sort of belief from the start coming around. So you know what? Curse on all of you. I will put a curse on all of you right now from God. If you will reject me without even hearing what I'm saying and not even checking what I'm saying, and you're going to try to use Isaiah 52 and try to say that that's the reason why the shroud isn't real, and that if that's not true, then everything else I'm saying is not true and not from God, then a curse on you. Your faith is dead, and I'm not afraid to say it. Nobody else is going to tell it to you. I don't care what denomination you are. Notice I haven't picked out a single denomination this time because I don't care. If you are reading the Bible, particularly the King James, but if you're reading the Bible and you think that none of it is true, and you think it's all an allegory or a story, or you think that it doesn't have a real world implication, Jesus isn't coming back, everything Jesus said was going to happen isn't really that true, but if somebody comes along and says, hey, well, maybe this actually is true, and Jesus said it's true, and you said, no, it's not, because somebody so-and-so said, I'm telling you what God told me. And God told me to tell everybody else. God didn't tell me everybody else is going to listen to me. But that's on you. My hands are clean. So y'all do what you want. I'm going to do what God tells me to do.